Hello, everybody. So, welcome back to Sit Down Wednesday. So, the piece we'll be doing today is the. Oh, wait, I'm not going to say that yet. You can have Mitchell say that later. But it's Gavin Ray, Mitchell Urban, Jaelyn Bray, and Isaac Gray. So, like always, before we start, we'll talk about the auditions. The Musicians List Arts auditions. You remember, go follow the Instagram page, get the information. We have 6 pieces we're playing, and I'm pretty sure they're going to be releasing it within the week. I'm not sure. So, you guys will probably see that eventually. So, I'll hand it off to Mitchell now. He can introduce this piece that none of us have really ever listened to, I'm pretty sure. So this will be interesting.
All right. So, today we're going to be doing the Queen Symphony by Tolga Kashif. This is one of my favorites. So the whole idea behind it is you've got your own full-blown hour-long 6-movement symphony, but it's based on the works of Queen. So you'll have... Every once in a while, you'll have like a melody pop out, and you're like, "Oh, I wonder where that's from." And then you're like, "Oh, shoot, it's Queen." Okay. So, a little bit about Tolga Kashif, the composer. He's a British musical conductor, composer, orchestrator, and producer, and he's originally Turkish, but he's worked with many awesome groups like. Royal Liverpool Philharmonic, the London Royal Philharmonic Orchestra, which we're going to be we're going to be listening to their rendition of it. So that's going to be fun. He's done a couple other things. Other than the Queen Symphony, he had a Genesis suite. So, like the rock band Genesis, I'm sure we've all heard of them.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of the same idea, but I'm looking forward to really diving into this. Symphony, as it holds a special place in my heart, and I think I'm going to segue this into our next thing here. We used this piece in our marching show in 2019, Eternal Beloved. That was what our music was based on, and if you look at our show logo, you can clearly tell it's the Queen symbol. So okay. Let's get going into it. I think.
Okay. So,
yeah, let's get going.
Mitchell, if you can pull up your phone real quick and see the sections each of us are doing. I'm pretty sure I'm doing movement 1, and I'm doing 2 minutes and 40 seconds to 3:40, and then I'm doing 9 minutes to the end of movement 1, and just
sure. Let me get to that. Let me get to that real quick.
I know personally, I listened to maybe 20 seconds, and I was like, okay. I'm gonna wait till finish this, so I get my first response to all of it when I'm actually recording my tape on it. So,
right. So, Gavin, you're doing the first movement, 2:40 to 3:40, and then 9 minutes to the end. Basically, the main songs that are featured in that are Radio Gaga and The Show Must Go On. So, obviously, I'm sure we all know what those songs are like. The second movement, we're going to be jumping to Jaelyn, beginning to 3:45, Love of My Life. I'm sure that's, in my opinion, that's one of Queen's most underrated songs. I don't know if you guys have ever heard it.
I haven't.
It was in the film Bohemian Rhapsody. That's a great movie too.
It is a great movie.
Rami Malek did a really good job of Freddie Mercury.
Isaac and I watched it together in theaters.
And fun fact about that, if you look when they're doing the Live Aid performance, you can see in the risers, or in the backstage, the drummer, Brian, God, I'm having a massive blank. The drummer and the bass player are sitting in the rafters. So that's a pretty cool little Easter egg, we're going to call that. Movement 3, which is the more ballad, more lyrical section, Isaac's going to cover from beginning to 2 minutes, 20 seconds, and that's mainly Who Wants to Live Forever. And we use that prominently in our show, in our fall show this year.
Nice.
And then Movement 6, I will be taking. It's probably my favorite part. This is where I started breaking down, and at national finals, this is where I just could not keep my composure anymore.
Here, take it, Brown.
2:40 to 5:25. Who Wants to Live Forever and Bohemian Rhapsody, all our favorites.
Okay.
So, looking forward to it.
Okay. Well, we'll venture off into our separate calls, and The tapes will probably go by movement, so me, Jaelyn, then Isaac, and then Mitchell, and then we'll come back and discuss like each section, what we thought of each section, and then Mitchell can dive a little deeper into his show for us. Okay, we'll see you after the tapes. Okay, everybody, so I'm Gavin. I'm doing movement 1, 2 minutes and 40 seconds to 3 minutes and 40 seconds, and also 9 minutes to the end of this movement. So I'm starting it at 2 minutes and 35 seconds on the Tolga Kashif, the Queen Symphony, and I'm pretty sure you said the London Philharmonic that we're listening to, but, let's go on ahead. And the segment technically starts now. I do like that background, like, with those strings, and then the clarinet on top. Nice. It just seems very mysterious. It sounds cool. Now the flute's added in. That's cool. Oh, nice build. Oh, I like that. Some choir. That's cool. Man, that's awesome. I like all the parts. There's so many different parts going on. Oh, the guys. Heck yeah. Okay, that was that segment. Dang. Okay, now I need to listen to this whole thing all the way through, because now I'm like teased with that next section. Man, that was cool. So, some things I liked about that personally was just the overall like hit at the end, I would call it. Just a hit of everything joining in, basically. Like that choir, just the voice just striking everybody with the giant crescendo right beforehand. Again, I don't listen to many Queen things. I've listened to like We Will Rock You and like Bohemian Rhapsody and stuff like that, but I haven't ever dived into more of his stuff. So that was interesting. Okay, so let me get us to 9 minutes. There we go. So I'll start at 8:55. Featuring Radio Gaga, The Show Must Go On, One Vision, I Was Born to Love You. Royal Philharmonic Orchestra. Okay. That was our answer. That's cool. So mysterious. I like all the strings on top making that dissonance. Honestly, this part sounds like a video game soundtrack to me a little bit. I would say more like a Skyrim soundtrack, to be honest. Oh, nice! Oh, that choir hit. Heck yes. Yeah, trumpets. Get that. Oh, that's nice. I love that. That's awesome. That's a cool effect. I love listening to orchestras that have a choir in there as well. Forte piano. Definitely, I can hear that melody. It's repeated. It's such a great melody. Oh, that's cool. That's awesome. I love that. So many stuff happening with the strings. They're holding up that upper pitch there. And the choir and the upper voices, the treble are up there. Very cool. And the brass keep hitting it with the percussion. Heck yeah. Oh, that's movement 2. That's not for me. That's for Jaelyn. Okay, well, man, that section, I just love that repeating motif of the melody. It just had so much power behind it and so much passion, especially with that trumpet and the percussion just hitting it, and the choir up on top, supporting those bottom pitches with the lower voices and those upper pitches staying sustained with that orchestra sound as well. Well. Nice job, guys. I like that. That was great. I actually can't wait to listen to it, especially since I've only gotten to listen to like 4 minutes of the movement 1, and it's a like 57-minute symphony. I definitely got to listen to it. Okay, well, I'll hand you off to Jaelyn for movement 2.
Hi, this is Jaelyn listening to movement 2 of the Queen Symphony. I believe that's piano underlying. It works really well with the upper woodwinds. Also, if that is a harp in there, very pretty. Aww. I love piano solos. I've done them since I was 6. It's very beautiful. You hear the tune coming out right in the piano music. I believe it's clarinets underlying and upper woodwinds really bringing out the piano. The orchestra also works very well with this piece. Just brings so much emotion. It's like it's putting you to sleep, but the little piano runs up really bring you in. So far it's building. You can feel the emotion build inside. The dynamics and the overall connection between them work really well. The piano isn't too overpowering. The upper woodwinds, the symphony is not too overpowering. Again, those piano runs add so much, they make me so happy. I feel so much emotion in this movement. Really like the flute part there. Or it might even be piccolo, I'm not a woodwind expert. The little parts, the little runs within each part work really well together. You can hear each thing, but it just builds upon one another. This solo here is really pretty as well. The control is beautiful. Almost feels like a fairy tale type of music, something in like a Disney movie right here. Oh my goodness. I love this runs down. The build. Okay, I went past my time there a little bit, but overall, so beautiful. I love listening to it. This piece is amazing.
Hey guys, it's Isaac here, and we're going to be listening to the Queen Symphony. So this piece, I had a little bit of time just to listen to this a little bit before, but I did not listen to the section that I was asked to listen to and comment on. I just kind of want to get the first impressions of what I kind of heard. I did hear that in the beginning it's a cello solo, and if one of my favorite symphonies is The Planet. Obviously, we all know the cello solos in that are really, really incredible. One of my favorite string instruments is the cello, actually. So let's dive in and kind of listen to this. One of my favorite things about Queen is just the chord structure that they make. It's really, really incredible. And I'm sure we're gonna hear this in this section right here, especially with the piece "Who Wants to Live Forever." I like the layering of the melodies. There we go. Nice transition from instrument to instrument. Really, really beautiful right there. Nice vibrato. Then here's the melody and the piece that we all know and love. Really enjoying, I believe, what the harp part is in the background, the kind of counter melody there. Cellos in that part was amazing, doing a scale up and then slowing it down just metrically. Beautiful chords here. Alright, we're gonna stop there. So, just kind of recap on what we just heard. Beautiful melodies, especially in this piece, but really coming across and what the composer did in this piece was really, really amazing. I really like how he kept the style, and it really kept, like, I'm pretty sure almost all the same chords that they used in the piece Who Wants to Live Forever. Really beautiful writing with transition from sounds like oboe into viola. Really, really beautiful writing from the composer there. Yeah, alright, and I believe after me is Mitchell, so let's see what he has to say about the next part.
Alright, hello everyone. So today, obviously as I said earlier, we are reviewing the Queen Symphony by Tolga Kashif. Again, this holds a place near and dear in my heart, as it was my last, it was the music for my senior show as a Carmel Marching Greyhound, and that was an experience I would never have dreamt I would have before walking into those doors of that band room in 2016, but here we are now. It was a fantastic show. It was a great way to go out. I mean, I personally didn't care too much about the placements competitively. I just wanted to play the music, and the music was so cool. Richard Salcedo and Mike McIntosh and Tolga Kashif for doing this whole symphony. That was amazing. So, without further ado, I'm going to get in. We're doing Movement 6, Andante Sostenuto. So, this part is in our closer of our show. It's based on Who Wants to Live Forever and Bohemian Rhapsody at the end. We all love Bohemian Rhapsody. This part, I said, I'm not going to cry. I'm not going to cry before this is over. But, as soon as this started, I was just like, all right, well, I can't keep it up. So at the end of this show, I was just bawling my eyes out. So without further ado, let's do this. And this is a transition in between. Really, really nice string playing. The London Symphony Orchestra, or the Royal Philharmonic Orchestra, really outstanding. Oh, boy. So they're about to go into the last rendition of Who Wants to Live Forever. big, strong horn. You can just hear Freddie Mercury just singing that whole part out. And then build up. And resolution with the Bohemian Rhapsody. Very triumphant sounding. Personally, in our show, we use this as a way to say that, hey, our couple has decided to go forever and live forever in peace and harmony, matrimony, holy matrimony, all that kind of stuff. The last little rendition of Who Wants to Live Forever. This is us saying, we're not done yet. We're 3-time champions. You guys need to listen to us. And as it descends, you'll hear ever faintly in the string section, we are the champions. All right. So, that was outstanding, and I remember I even got a little dry-throated here. I didn't tear up like I did last time I listened to this one, but just the sheer power that this symphony carries, and again, this holds a really, really close, this is really close to my heart, as this is part of the activity that I've loved, and the entirety of this, this section of the symphony is just outstanding. So without further ado, let's turn it back to the other judges.
Okay, everybody, so welcome back from 4 different movements of the Queen Symphony. We all did a separate one. I think I had 2 segments. Jaelyn had I think everyone else had 1 segment. Or Mitchell, did you have 2?
No, I had 1.
Okay, so I did movement 1, so I'll talk about what I saw in movement 1. So movement 1, okay, I'm a little teased. I wanted to finish it, and I started letting it go after it ended my second segment into the second movement. I'm like, oh, hold on. That's Jaelyn's turf. I can't touch that. I have to wait to listen to that afterward. But overall, I mean, I haven't personally listened to many Queen songs. I've only listened to, like, those popular, like, 5 I know. And then, like, so the other ones are probably very underrated, like Mitchell said. So just sitting there and, like, hearing the choir hits in the second part and the first part, just how the whole ensemble crescendos in and hits the song right away. It got me emotional, and I never played it. Just I can feel the passion behind the group. And I can definitely see why Mitchell could get emotional just performing any of that symphony. So I'll hand it off to Jaelyn for her movement.
Yeah, so I had movement 2, and it was just like super pretty. It was almost something like fairy tale like. The piano, for the most part, was like so beautiful. It had a big solo, and then it under like upper woodland parts, and it all just moved together and flowed really well. And again, I felt teased. I wanted to listen to so much more, but I couldn't. So that's my movement.
So for my section, it started off with a cello solo, and I'm a big sucker for cello solos. They just insanely beautiful. But it starts with the cello solo, and then you have the strings, bass, viola, violin that come in with beautiful chords. And then the oboe takes the melody for maybe 3 or 4 bars, and then it switches to, I believe, violin. And then that has the remaining solo for the rest of closely for the rest of my segment that I had. But the transition between oboe and violin was really, really, I mean, obviously you can tell which one started and ended, but just, I mean, how it just portrayed across and how you didn't really notice any dynamic change. It was just all the way straight into the next instrument. It was really, really beautiful.
All right, so I'm gonna close it out here, or at least reviewing the sections with mine. So, the Who Wants to Live Forever and Bohemian Rhapsody. You know, this is personally my favorite part of the entire symphony. I've listened to the entire symphony about 5 or 6, 7, 8 times because I'm weird. It's just, you've got your power, it's the restating of the Who Wants to Live Forever line, and then you have the the big gigantic triumph moment of the Bohemian Rhapsody stuff. So, and that's just awesome to hear from me, at least, with the horn and the brass in that ending. Just everyone playing as strong as they can. I'm going to discuss, though, I'm going to say a couple things as to where the parts that we listened to lined up in Carmel's 2019 fall show, Eternal Beloved. So Jaelyn's part actually matched up with the beginning of our show. I'm going to give a brief rundown. Basically, 2 lovers, one turns into Vampire King. The girl, the horn soloist, Claire, must decide whether she wants to follow him into darkness or leave. And spoiler alert, she chooses darkness and lives together in peace and holy matrimony, etc., etc. But the Love of My Life was the beginning, and then what Gavin listened to was after the Love of My Life, the Show Must Go On part with the clarinet is the next part of our show, and then the big stuff at the end of the first movement, the brass, the power chords that Gavin was talking about with the choir stuff. That was our big hit in our portraying the character change from Prince of Happiness and Everything to Prince of Darkness. And then our ballad was what Isaac listened to, the Who Wants to Live Forever. Claire did a really good job playing that horn solo and just in general. And then mine was, my part that I listened to was the very end of our show. We had a baritone feature in between that We Will Rock You, of course. Cool. And then after that, all the tension, and then we resolved to the Who Wants to Live Forever. And spoiler alert, she runs off and is friend and lovers forever with the dude. So,
vampire homie.
Yeah. So that was fun. What do you guys think overall? If you had the time to sit down and listen to this hour-long piece, would you? What do you think it'd be worth your time?
Of course.
That question.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely. I'm probably going to do that after I have my other meeting today. I'm definitely going to just sit down, play some Skyrim, and have the symphony going on in the background.
Right, me too.
There you go. That's the grind. The grind never stops.
Isaac, what about you?
I honestly think this is one of those pieces that if you're a young composer, this is really a good chance for you to listen to this completely through and just listen to the chord structure and the chord changes. Especially listen to the ideas that the composer has about changing the melody from instrument to instrument and how he does it. Also how, if you're doing conducting or you're a director of a band, noticing the different parts that are layering on top of each other and realizing the melody has that priority, but also that the underlying and all the counter melodies, all the underlying chords, like just kind of listening to that and kind of noticing. So if you're looking to be a musician in the future, or even if you're not, it's still a great thing for you to listen to.
Yeah, I'm gonna say one thing. This symphony is obviously, again, it's really close to me. But when they first revealed it that we were playing Queen music, obviously you could tell everyone in the band would be hyped. It's Queen. Queen is a banger. But Mr. Kriki played this, and then the performance on Wembley Stadium of "Who Wants to Live Forever." I don't know if you guys have ever seen that, but we listened to the entire first move, and we were all just completely shaken after that, and we're like, "Oh God, this is it's crazy." And this isn't really a well-known symphony. Although there were some performances, actually, the band directors actually got the idea to use this in a marching show in like 2004 or something when they went to London and Austria with the band, and went to this symphony. And after they listened to the symphony, they're like, "All right, well, we're gonna throw this at someone at some point." And then here we are now. And we had our great show that we had this past season. So
nice. Okay, well, I guess we'll call that a day on the Queen Symphony. So next week, we're sort of going to dive into another group that Isaac and I performed in Tarpon Music. Next week is Shostakovich Symphony No. 10, Movement 2. And we're probably going to pick apart other Shostakovich pieces just to add, more variety to the judge comments. So, we'll probably have a lot of Shostakovich, some Movement 4 in there, so we'll see. So we'll catch you guys tomorrow for Show Choir Thursday with Owen and Jaelyn on their rookie runs of judging, and we'll see you tomorrow.